Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about making grain spawn, and I missed one step before I decided to make the video. So basically I put all the grains in here and I run hot water on them and I swish my hand around in there, and then when the water gets real dirty looking, I pour as much of the water out as I can without pouring out grains. Refill it with more hot water, keep doing that until it looks kind of clean. Then I bring it over to this guy here, and here you can see all the grains are in here. They haven't been soaked overnight or anything. So what I'm going to do is use Paul Stamets method. So I will bring these guys to a boil and stir them frequently, and then I will let them steep, whatever you call it, for 1 hour. And then I'll show you what I do next. Now here it is on the oven. Been stirring it lots and lots. In the very beginning it'll sound like it's boiling, but it's only like 120 degrees on the top. So you got to keep stirring it to make sure all these grains get a chance to be in the really hot water, which is going to be at the bottom of the pot. All the grains, they kind of insulate it a little bit and make it so that if you don't stir it, the ones on the bottom will get like super cooked and the ones on the top will be really small. So take a look at them, make sure they're not splitting or anything. They're not even getting fat yet. So altogether, they've been in here for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and it hasn't started boiling, really boiling yet. So I'll keep stirring and wait for it to boil. Okay, now after about 15 minutes total, I've taken it off the heat because the grains are nice and plump, and a few of them are starting to split here. But if you see, there's a way. Whoop, there we go. We fogged it all up. Well, they're way plumper, so it's time for the next step. Alright, so for the next step we are going to strain them. So I'm going to run some cold water so they don't damage the pipes. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the grains around into each one of these, pouring them, and as I pour them, the moisture is going to escape as steam. So that's going to help get rid of the excess moisture. It's a little messy. So I won't bore you with this for much longer, but I will. I'll continue to do this for probably three or 4 minutes or so until the steam gets a little bit reduced, and then I'll show you what I do next. Alright, so I got my jars to fill, and I have one little trick up my sleeve here, is I'm going to take like little 3 or 4 hardwood fuel pellets and drop them in the bottom. They're going to help absorb any extra moisture I might have in there, and they're also going to help train the mycelium to eat these fuel pellets that I'm going to use to supplement my straw blocks. So then the next step, of course, is filling up the jars. So I got my thing here. I like to fill them up to 5 cups, right about here, which is kind of around the A on the ball. You want to have room to shake them, and they're going to expand a little bit too. I find they do, at least. So now I spent about 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, going through and picking out some of the broken ones here. I don't go crazy picking them out. low hanging fruit I'll pick out, give this a shake a little bit, see where it's at. It's about 5 cups. Set that guy aside. Bring out the next one. Well, it's a little over, but that's all right. 5 1/4 cups, who cares? So, I'll continue to do this until all the jars are full. I'm not going to bore you with that, though. Okay, so my PCs only hold 4 of these jars. This size will hold more, but I didn't have enough to fill one of these, so I just filled one of these. I'll use it to prove out a liquid culture I'm expanding. So my next step here is to put on these caps I made. I'm going to put them on upside down. If you put them on right side up, they're like really hard to get off. And you're not looking to make a perfect seal because you have this hole here with this filter over it for gas exchange. And then this plug here is a self-sealing injection port to inject in the liquid culture. I make these myself. Now if you're reusing it, you got to check inside this hole. Sometimes a little grain will get stuck up in there. So I'll put these in all the jars. For the next step, I'm going to use aluminum foil. And I'm just going to tear it into these little size things, stick it over top of here, and do this. And what this is going to do, there's going to be a lot of dripping and steam inside the pressure cooker. We don't want that to drip onto here and then go through here and change the water content inside there. So I'll just go ahead and do all of these with the aluminum foil. Now the next step is pressure cooking. You want to make sure you follow the directions according to your pressure cooker because each pressure cooker is different. My pressure cookers are both Prestos. I think one's a 21 and one's a 22 quart, I'm not sure. They each call for 3 quarts of water and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. So I've pre-measured that. We'll add that to both of them. Both one of these guys gets one of these for the bottom. You don't want your jars touching the bottom of the sides. And then one on top. Now if your pressure cooker doesn't call for putting one of these on top, I suggest you do it anyway because we have these pieces of aluminum here, and if something were to happen and that aluminum were to get stuck over your vents, it could explode. So I go ahead and I put those on top. That already has one. So time for the lids. Very easy. Again, follow your manufacturer's directions. Some guys, they want you to put a little bit of Vaseline or something on it. Always look through this hole right here. Always look through that hole. Make sure you can see light coming through the hole. It's not clogged. Make sure this guy here is soft. Oh, he popped right out. That's cool. He's another emergency vent thing. And then this guy here, he should be free too. On my pressure cooker, I have a little arrow, and it lines up with an arrow over here. Twist that top one there. I'll put the top on this one, and then we'll pressure cook. Here they are, on the oven, on high. These particular pressure cookers, they want you to bring it up to pressure, not bring it up to pressure, but bring it up to steam, start spraying out of these ports here. And then once the steam starts coming out of these ports here, they want you to count 10 minutes. So I leave it on high until the steam starts to come out of the ports. Then when the steam comes out, or it's coming out of the ports, I drop it down to 8. After the 10 minutes, I put the rocker on. Then you gotta wait till it comes up to pressure. Once it comes up to pressure and the rocker starts rocking, I drop it down to 5. And then after like half an hour or so, I'll drop it down to 4.5 and then 4. And then usually around 4, it's just kind of rocking. So from the time you put the from the time the pressure comes up, not from the time you put the rocker on, but from the time the pressure comes up and it starts shaking, for these, I do 90 minutes. So it takes about 2 hours because it's going to be another 10 minutes or so for these guys to heat up. and then 10 minutes for the stuff to spray out, and then 10 minutes for it to come up to pressure, and then 90 minutes for them to pressure cook. So that's about 2 hours, give or take 10 minutes depending on the temperature. So I'll pick back up when these start steaming out to show you what that looks like. So now these guys are they're boiling. I can hear they're boiling, and steam's starting to come out of the spouts here. So I'm just going to drop this down to 8. And drop this down to 8. And I start my 10-minute timer. So we reached the end of the 90 minutes, and all I've done is turn off the heat for both of these. I'll just let them sit. They're gonna, rock and hiss for a few more minutes, and then I'll let them sit for a few hours till they get nice and cool, so that I can inoculate them. I'm gonna make a second video about the inoculation process because this video is taking so long. So this is gonna be the end of part 1.